Let's proceed with business and immigration law updates. This is a proud presentation of the law offices of the Khurana Law Firm. This office is located in Rockville, Maryland. The chief residing attorney here is Attorney Ramesh Khurana. On this set, our moderator, Attorney Kenneth Haber, questions Attorney Khurana on F1 Circular Practice Training. Let's take a look.
Welcome. My name is Kenneth Haber. I'm a former Assistant United States Attorney, and I'm a former Senior Attorney at the Office of Inspector General of the United States Department of Health and Human Services. And this is the Capitol Forum. With us today to answer some of our questions concerning the F1 visa is attorney, well-known immigration attorney, clients across the world, Ramesh Khurana. Ramesh, welcome.
Thank you very much, Ken, for inviting me to the Capitol Forum.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Can you please explain to our viewing audience what, as far as the F1 visa goes, is the curriculum training, practical training program?
Sure. Ken, this is popularly called as CPT, Curricular Practical Training. Now, this you do while you are still a student. Both your studies and working go hand in hand. So, it all depends upon the academic program of the school where a student is admitted. If that academic program is permitting working alongside, then you can work on CPT.
Can you be paid when you're working?
Oh yes, you can be paid, and in fact you are paid. That's why this person is working. Unless that person decides to work for some charitable organization where normally people are not paid for that kind of position, then of course, otherwise person has to be paid.
And does this training need to be related to his education?
That's the most important factor. It has to be related to the education, it has to be part of the academic program, it has to be part of the curriculum.
Could you explain the application process concerning the CPT program?
Sure, Ken. Surprisingly, the application process is very simple. The person who decides whether this particular student has to be granted CPT or not is the DSO, designated school official. Now, designated school official has to look at the academic program or the curriculum of the program for which the student has been admitted. Most of the times, CPT is not allowed during the first year, but if curriculum program permits so, then it can be granted within the first year. But that kind of program is open to everybody in the class. That's the key. So, if it's part of the academic program, answer is yes. So, he will complete the application form as prescribed by the particular school, and he will file it with the DSO. No fee is required to be paid, absolutely no fees, and there is no approval by the Department of Homeland Security. Only thing DSO will do is, if he looks at it and he finds that this person meets with the eligibility criteria, then he is going to approve the application, and it takes about 2 weeks.
And just not during the first year?
Most of the time not during the first year, unless it's part of the curriculum which would permit him to do some kind of internship, some kind of work, because it's part of the curriculum and it's allowed for everybody in the class.
Can a person work in an internship that's non-paid?
As I said, when we are talking about internships which are non-paid, now every commercial establishment is required to pay to its employees, unless it's a kind of program or charitable organization for which people are normally not paid. If let's say you and I hire some people, we have got to pay. Labor Department will ask us to pay each and every employee, because normally when we are hiring paralegals or legal clerks, we are paying them. So, if as a matter of routine this is a paid job, we have got to pay everybody. But of course,
Go ahead.
Well,
please.
we have to make sure that person is allowed to work.
Of course, might be only minimum wage if somebody's just learning from us, like if some law student came to our office.
You know, if you are the employer, you decide, subject to regulatory requirements, how much you want to pay.
Does the student have to work for the same employer during the entire period?
Once the CPT is approved, and if he wants to change the employer, then he is to go back to the DSO. He is to obtain employment offer letter on the letterhead of the company, defining what are the job duties, and that very particular employer has to sign a cooperative agreement with the school. So these are the basic requirements. But of course, he can change the employer, but approval will be given by the DSO.
So it's actually the school's DSO, that the employee of the school that makes the decision,
yes.
not Homeland Security or Immigration.
No, because DSO has been given guidelines, and as I discussed earlier in our one of the sessions, so whatever you are doing for an F1 student, everything is getting recorded in the service system. So Department of Homeland Security can access these records and see what's going on about this particular student. So even when CPT is allowed, this is also going into service record, and DSO will record it on the form I-20 about the fact that this person has been granted CPT, and this is employer specific. This is not a kind of open-ended approval like you just go and work for anybody. This is employer specific. So you submit an application along with the job offer letter, who has signed the cooperative agreement, go to the DSO, like how much you are getting paid, what kinds of job duties you are performing. Again, as you said, I remind your comment, it has to be an integral part of your major, of your curriculum. Like if you are doing something, it should be related to your subject. It should not be unrelated.
Is the CPT a separate visa status?
No, it's not. It's not a visa status. This is just a work authorization, but your visa status is only F1.
What is the OPT?
Ken, OPT is, this is, full name is Optional Practical Training, and Optional Practical Training is basically after you have completed your degree program, let's say undergrad degree program. After that, you can have 1 year OPT, unless you are a student of STEM, which is science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Then you can have additional 17 months of OPT. So in those circumstances, your OPT gets extended to 27 months, 1 year first and 17 months. So if you are not graduating with STEM, science, technology, engineering and math, then you had just 12 months. But the good news is, if you had 12 months and you move on to do your master degree, you again can have same period for OPT. But one thing we have to remember, if you enjoyed working while you were a student on CPT, let's say that you are working full time and you worked for 12 months, then your OPT, if it is for 12 months, is gone. Then you utilize your OPT. So OPT is not in addition to CPT, but if you worked part-time basis or your CPT period is just 9 months, so you are left with 3 months. So you get OPT for 3 months. So that's the way it works.
What other options are there available for individuals who are in F1 status to enhance their educational experience?
You know, when we are talking about enhancing their educational experience, now in one of the sessions we discussed, if they are interested in taking some summer courses, they can take summer courses, and if they are left with some limited number of hours to complete their degree, and the last semester doesn't have to be a full load, which full load means 12 credits at the undergrad level. So, that person can basically just have the leftover number of credits during the last semester, and once the degree requirement is fully met with, and such a person is issued an F1 visa for the duration of status, and once the education is complete, the duration of status is over. Now, the good thing is, let us say a person's degree requirement is complete in the month of February. Now, obviously, he wants to work in this country, and let us say that OPT is not available to him, or if OPT is available for 10 months. So, he can apply H1B petition through his employer, and this H1B petition will be filed on April 1 with the job availability date of October 1. So, his status, if he does not have any OPT status or OPT status expired before filing of H1B, so this is a gap exemption, and his status would automatically be extended up to the time when the petition decision is made. If it is approved, then it gets extended up to September 30th, because new quota is available as from October 1. If it gets denied, then he has to leave the country and go back. This is how it works.
What about the H1B? How does that interface with this?
Yeah, H1B interfaces with it in this way, because that person wants to apply for H1B, and he has found a sponsor who is an employer, but this is subject to some quota restrictions. There are not unlimited numbers available for H1B. H1B quota becomes available only as from October, and in between there is a gap. Like if that person's status is expiring in the month of June, what about 3 more months? Either he has to leave the country and come back, but if H1B petition is filed, then status gets extended automatically up to September 30th. And when the petition is approved as from October 1, so his status will be changed from F1 to H1B.
And how long can he stay with the H1B?
H1B is maximum stay is 6 years, subject to certain incremental extensions when the green card process starts.
And throughout this whole period, if a person lets their heart wander and they find somebody that they love, they can
of course, that option is always available. Yes.
Get an adjustment.
Yes,
once they're married.
yes, that person can have adjustment of status to green card.
Very good. Well, that certainly is a way for people to carry on their educational odyssey and at the same time stay in this country that has been such a blessing for so many of us over several hundred years, to say the least.
I agree with you. This country is great and provides opportunities to all students who come from the rest of the world.
I don't think people really appreciate this country.
Yes, they appreciate, and this country is also the beneficiary of the students, because they are very talented and they have a strong sense of commitment to their work, and they have contributed to new research, and they are wonderful physicians here, and they are wonderful scientists and great IT consultants.
I agree with you 100% and would like to thank you, and also great attorneys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate.
Yes.
Appreciate.
Thank you for joining us.